It's 1993. Here's a picture of Roger Linn in 1988 with the brand new MPC60. He wants to make a new one, an MPC3000. The MPC60 that was made in 1988 sold for $5,000 each, and that is without any speakers. It's a good machine. It looks good, even has an armrest. Main problem is it's too expensive for the marketplace. And EMU's SP1200, which cost less than $2,000, did much of the same thing, but it was much cheaper, and it was more punchy, and was well loved by consumers. So AKAI Professional had to stop production and make a brand new machine. Roger Linn wasn't too happy with that, but it was a good idea. They lowered the price. Now, the MPC62 was $1,800. It has more sales. Even if you find a used one today, there are more MPC62s than there are MPC61s. It worked. But Roger wanted something better. He still wanted a top-end professional MPC that pros could use and not care about the price. AKAI agrees, and they will sell both MPCs. And this is it right here, the MPC3000. It sells for $4,500. This is a professional MPC. As you can see, the monitor has been moved to the right-hand side of the MPC, and the data entry on the left has expanded. We have more options also in the transport area. It's much stronger and a lot more easier to work. And they've improved the specs. The polyphony is 32 voice. The sampler is 16-bit at 44.1 kilohertz in stereo. Dynamic filtering has been added. Dynamic resonant low-pass filter. Memory's improved, so you get 2 megabytes standard, and it comes out to 10.8 seconds of sample time. You can expand to 16 megabytes at 188 seconds. We have 128 drum sounds. That's, of course, the standard 16 soft pads and 20 songs, 99 sequences, 99 tracks, and 75,000 note capacity. The MPC 3000 is a professional MPC. I got this for our Sample King Studios back in 1995. I got lucky. A friend of mine at Rogue Music, Clay, called me up, said he had one for about 2005. I grabbed it. It was the black one. God, it was great in the studio. It syncs with everything. It has SMPTE timecode lock, MTC timecode lock. It's just perfect. It's really clean. The pads are awesome, but it's expensive. If you're going to buy this thing, you have to be a pro. Don't buy it if you're just an amateur working every now and then. It's just a waste of money. But when you do get it, you're going to love it. My favorite feature on here is the swing. Now let's take a look at the back of this beautiful MPC 3000. Now you'll see back here we have like these 8 MIDI ports. We have MIDI in 1 and 2, and MIDI A, B, C, and D are out. Now what I want to have, and I think which would be necessary too, is a direct through. I prefer to have a direct through than a soft through, right? I could use like a MIDI out as a soft through. But a direct through, I would have perfect output from my MPC directly to another device. But otherwise, it's still great to have what we have here. Now also, you'll see here right above MIDI 1 and 2, we have the foot switches, 1 and 2. You can program to do whatever you want inside the machine. Now we also have sync in and sync out. And this is for SMPTE timecode. So I'd put the cable in here. I can also increase the volume of that SMPTE timecode in case the MPC3000 doesn't hear it or in case it's very low. And I can also output SMPTE timecode as well. Now next to that, we also have the digital input. Now, that requires a digital coaxial cable. Once you put that in, you're good to go. We can also set our gain volume. As you can see, there is a gain switch from low to mid to high. Then next to that, we have our in. That's our record in. That's left and right. And next up, we have left and right for the stereo out. And next to the stereo out, we have, of course, our headphones. The input's right there. Now, the stereo out, you can go right to a mixing board. But below this is what's really great to have, and that is individual outputs. We have 8 individual outputs directly out from our MPC3000. I can send these right into the mixing board. It's just really good. Now, above everything here, of course, we have a CSCI, SCSI input. So I can use the SCSI input to put a hard drive onto the MPC3000. Now, as you can see, it's a well-organized machine, and I kind of like it a lot. So if you do get this thing, take good care of it. Now I want to take a view and get a good look at the monitor. It's pretty bright. It's the best monitor on MPCs, and you can see it right there. It's kind of really good. And of course, it's a classic MPC. And we've got sounds here, editing sounds, as you can see there. So he's doing the end time. Then we have delete after soft end. We have a copy zone. And the keys are sitting right here. They match the bottom on the screen. Then we have select program. Now he's got a program edits there, and he's in zone 17, so he's taking his zone something out. And it's pretty easy, as you can see, to see anything on an MPC3000. And the great thing about working today on the internet is great. All the manuals are online. This is kind of really cool. So I'm here, I can get this manual here, and I can go right through it here and see some stuff here and show you the MPC3000 right there. See, it's great. And we have instructions right here because it's a professional device, and if you're going to buy it, make sure you know where to get it. The link for this manual will be down in the bottom of this video. So let's go to here. I want to show you one thing here for sure. And I'm going to talk about our setup here. So here, as you can see, is our setup, and I can actually probably come into here also and sort of increase this. And that's good. Get a little better right there and zoom in a little bit more. There we go. And you can see here, this is the way we'll set it up. For example, we've got a multi-timbral MIDI sound module here. We have 2 of these right here, and up here would be just a multi-timbral MIDI keyboard. And so as you can see here, we'd have the output of the MIDI keyboard going to the MIDI in, and then we'll have, let's say, A, B, C MIDI outs going to the devices. So for example, the A output would go here to the MIDI keyboard here. The B output would go right here to my multi-timbral MIDI sound module. And of course, the second sound module would get the MIDI C output. It's kind of cool. And if we're going to be in a control room in a recording studio, we have the audio left and right here that we can send directly out to the control room to hear it back and see what's going on. Now we also can have these multis here, these 8 different outputs here for the MPC's outputs. And I want to talk about the truth here about the MPC3000. When Roger Linn first started making the LM1, that was a success. The Linn drum was a success. He made it affordable, and he made it really strong, great to work with, no problem. His problem ended up happening after the Linn 9000, the Linn sequencer, and the Linn drum MIDI sequencer. But after he started working with AKAI, he got a really good idea and learned a lot from them about MIDI and the use of MIDI and how you can work it with a machine. Those two working together was absolutely awesome. Now I know after this machine here, the contract ends and Roger goes out and makes more gear. But from that point on, he keeps making quality gear. There's no more failures because he worked with AKAI, and that's pretty good. But I do want to say one thing. If you're going to buy an MPC, I would suggest that you can get an MPC3000 probably on eBay or I think Craigslist. But if you do, hopefully you get it cheap. This is the MPC to get. This is the best MPC ever made, and it's all professional. I love it. Now, Dr. Dre is one of the most famous guys using an MPC3000. He's done a lot of hit records, including The Chronic, and also a bunch of stuff with Eminem. Just a whole lot of tracks. But that's an example of what you can do with an MPC3000. And of course, j.Dilla is the master of the MPC3000, actually unquantized and fixing it so it makes it sound like it is quantized. The master of it, and you can see a couple albums I've posted here, and you can check them out in stores, or you can just look at them or hear about them. I think they're also on here on the internet, so check that out.